compliment Golden Boy for the work you guys are doing. A big card last Saturday, another big card this Saturday. Just talk to us about bringing the fans all this great boxing.
Well, first, it's a good feeling to know that you acknowledge what's happening, even though it was so close, couldn't actually remember from last week. Now we're going into this week. It's a good time for boxing right now. We know when we don't feel like the time is producing what we want. We've been through that recession, but now we in a situation now where we fans and media, opponents, Golden Boy or another company has to actually bear witness what's happening right now. And I don't want to overdo it or say it or hype it, but it's the truth. I mean, if the material and the product is what it is, then as I said to y'all earlier, it's nothing, I mean, it's nothing that you really can say, but what you see, if it's good, if it's exciting, action, and then all the other stuff falls into place. So yes, you answered, you said something short, I gave you something long.
Yeah.
Answer. It's a good time for boxing, but we can't just think about just last week and then this week because they haven't materialized yet. But because of the styles and opponents, I don't think I'm gonna be disappointed after Saturday on HBO. It's a good time for boxing, but it's also the time to understand, to stay a course. See, take boxing or business or your job like you've been successful, you got a raise, you know, managers and the big bosses are happy with your performance. Now what happens? The test is continue to be that employee of the week, employee of the month. Yeah. You like that? I like that. You must have just got that last week, I can tell. Employee of the year. When you start making a habit out of something that people are getting used to and they're starting to see it, ain't really too much hype or talking that you have to do. It's become protocol. It becomes now, you know, not something to do, but just to remind y'all, hey, it's gonna be on HBO. In case y'all think it's on a Sunday, it's on a Saturday, things that y'all know. But that's a good thing when we get to that. Look at the crowd. Walking in the wonderland. You understand where you gonna go. This is not a pay-per-view fight, but it probably can be. Fan base. Fan base. Fan base. The fighters got fan base. And I'm excited. And I'm 100% biased because we're doing it. So,
Bernard, what do you think about Linares Campbell? What do you think about this fight, Campbell Linares?
Dangerous. Danger.
Bernard, and following the
risky.
Linares is the great moment, great shape for you. Is the best moment of Linares?
Possibly yes. But both guys going to have to prove it. We know they're ready. We know they're experienced. It's a dangerous fight. This is not a walk in the park.
And Campbell, what need to do Campbell to be Linares? What do you think about Campbell? Is the gold medalist?
Well, time will tell. Time will tell.
Bernard, following protocol, it looks like the Canelo-Golovkin rematch is what you guys want. Can you just talk to us about that?
I think both guys want it.
What changes in the rematch? What does Canelo have to do? What does he have to change?
Well, Canelo's going to have to look at what most people have been talking about before the fight and after the fight. It's not that he's not in shape. Conditioning don't always have to be that your cardio is not up to par. It could be mental. It could be the wrong foods. the wrong reaction. It could be a balance of a lot of things that can make a person feel and thinks like he's tired, but he's not. But when I look at what a guy went through and how he handled it, it's more about what I like to focus on. Because we know if something needs to be fixed, whether it's a car, whether it's yourself, whether it's anything that needs to be fixed, if it don't get fixed, other things that happen. In Canelo fight with Triple G, those things didn't happen. Why? It's because, from what I'm hearing, if he was as tired as people said he was, which he was, and he should have been at certain points in the fight, why didn't Triple G get rid of him? See, we could talk about this or that, and you could be right about all that. So why did Triple G not be the monster that we all know he is? Because even though we seen something that stood out, we seen a young 24, 25-year-old Canelo find his way to not drown. Wow. See, I look at the yin and the yang. You ever heard that? You're kind of young, I don't know. I don't want to put you on the spot here. This is social media. The yin and the yang, look it up if you don't. I mean, if you do, you do, because sometimes I might not know something, and I'll say it. I seen more positive in that process of Canelo, understanding that you don't fight when you're tired, but you don't quit either. See, you gather yourself. You play chess, they play checkers. You think, they react, preach. That's how I go. So I seen a young but fastly approaching being a true veteran without having the age to back it up. You got behind your time, he's before his time. And I see him getting better. So I look at it from a whole different scientific reason.
Is he not?
A boxing, scientific. See, I look at Canelo and I said, well, 2 days ago, in LA, I started getting all the tapes that I had in my head and looking at how he'd grown even after certain wins, how he got better, and only got one loss, y'all. And I seen the win here, then I seen the loss with Mayweather, and I see how he growed and know what he had, because I pay attention. Now that he had this fight with Triple G, that he definitely is supposed to go 12 rounds with him if you go by statistics, right? And he was in the fight, so nobody is saying that somebody got to actually he wasn't in the fight. The biggest thing is about what a judge did or didn't do. But the growth from the Mayweather fight, the teaching, the education he got from that experience, all the way up to the Triple G fight, it's kind of scary in a good way what he's going to do from the Triple G fight on, because he seems to always learn and get better. What happens when they fight again? Wow. Andre Ward and Sergey Kovalev too. Wow. You mean I went in there with this monster and I came out with a blemish on my left cheek and he looked like that? I gotta keep myself tame, not get cocky, but if I'm a Canelo, I gotta be like, I'm gonna do the same in the gym, train, do some adjustments here and there, because I'm gonna go in there right. Come on, man. Can you imagine you facing a bully, and then you punch the bully, and the bully starts saying, why you hit me like that? What is that gonna do to your courage? what are they going to do to your psyche? Matter of fact, you got to be careful you don't become the bully. On him, the bully get bullied.
So, Bernard, what are those adjustments that you make to make you emphasize the positive? And you said sometimes conditioning can be...
Well, we already know. If you watch the fight, I'm sorry, go ahead.
So
no, I'm sorry, go ahead.
What enhancements, when you looking back as a fighter and not as the Golden Boy executive, what adjustments would you have liked?
I'm going on a road trip, and 90% of things that I react and speak on that has to do with boxing itself, I know how to quickly separate myself from being the business side of Golden Boy, and I'm glad you said that and mentioned that up. And the spit game that I just put down the last 15, 20, 10 minutes here was basically strictly on my experience as a boxer. We're going on a road trip. Back to that. Before I go on a road trip, if I'm smart, I'm gonna check the tires. But the main thing, I'm gonna check that needle on the gas tank. You know why I'm gonna check that needle, right? If I'm in LA and I gotta go to Phoenix, I'm gonna go on a quarter tank. So before we do anything, you gotta see if what? Gas in the car. And enough gas in the car. Canelo won the last 2 rounds with no question. But it was body language that made others. See, sometimes body language, in boxing you gotta become on stage, and that ring is a stage, in case you didn't know. I'm not picking on you. I'm gonna pick on an older guy now. In case you didn't know, boxing is a stage. When a fight is so close, judges are human. You don't know if they're looking at whether they like your sneakers, your boxing shoes better than his, so I give it to you. They would never say it, but they're human. And guess what? Sometimes you gotta be an actor in there. And you dead tired, but I can't let you know. It's called bluffing. You got Ali was hurt. See, this is boxing at its true form of science. Ali was hurt, out on his feet. George Foreman. Yeah, that's all you can do. What Ali was doing when he did that? Messing with his head. There was times in my career I was hurt from a body shot. Oh man, that was, but I couldn't show you non-verbals. I had to show you no-verbals. So when you see this tape and you hear it from me personally, this is jewels that I'm dropping for the world, for all the young fighters. Even the ones that's middleweights understand that, look. In the game of boxing, you gotta learn when to hold, you gotta learn when to duck, you gotta learn when to do this, you gotta learn when to do that. And guess what? Most important thing is, you gotta learn how to survive. Because you got 12 rounds mostly in the championship fight, 10 rounds in the contender fight, and then the rest is all really learning process. Because you ain't in college until you get a 10 round under your belt. You can't even get rated until you get 10 rounds under your belt. So come on, man. We forgot the fundamentals of the ground base of what? A professional. Because you got your license, that don't mean you can drive. But if you got your license, you're an experienced driver, now you're talking to me. Why do you think the insurance for a young 16-year-old is higher than a 27-year-old? Science, jewels. So it's the same thing in anything else. I don't even harp on him. Canelo's 25. Triple G is 35. We'll wait on it. But I want to do this rematch right away because guess what? Like I said before the Canelo fight, you could ask Eric Gomez right there. He did. Bernard told us to Stephen A. Smith. He said it to Stephen A. Smith that Canelo was ready. No, Triple G was ready, that Canelo was ready to get him. And we got to get him now. That's why we shocked everybody. You know, the last fight, everybody stayed still, and we announced it, caught all the media off guard, right or wrong. You was there. I said, yo, man, he ready. Are you sure? No, he's ready. Get him. I said, he's ready, man. This guy don't have no plan B. He never needed it. He in New York City at 12 noon in Manhattan with no reverse in his car. We gotta get him. Stay tuned.
Bernard,
To 2, chapter 2.
can you comment on Andre Ward? He announced his retirement. He was probably
Yeah, I heard that, man.
probably the closest thing to you, man.
That's my heart as far as a young fighter, man, that respectful family, straight guy, man, give you what he feels. When he says things, he means it. He know what he's doing. When he makes a decision, I don't have to question that, and I won't do that. But if he feels that way, and he said that, and he did, then I salute him for being a man. I salute him for being a friend. And whatever he do, whether it's, you know, commentating on an expert, because he is that, and intelligent, and he got that in the bag. And then the other ventures, because he's a planner, he's a guy that just don't go off the fly. He will be okay, or put it this way, he will be more than okay. And I think that when you're dealing with an individual of Andre Ward, you got to separate all the dealings you did with anybody in boxing history based on how he runs his life and his family and how he feels. He's a really convicted man about what he says, so he ain't gonna just be promoting, I'm done, and then I'm back. And I'm not saying it might or might not happen. I'm just saying is there has to be breaking news, or was breaking news, because I heard it 2 hours ago. So, but I know he'll be all right. I know it's a reason, and I know it's a good reason. Whatever the reason is.
Was there anything that you saw in him as a fighter that you said, man, I wish I had that coming up myself? Or we know you're one of the greatest, but he brought something new to the table. You know, he was different.
Clearly. Is there anything, I want y'all to hear this. He said, is there anything that I've seen in Andre Ward that I like in my, like I wish I had, like, that he had? Or,
Yeah.
Right? That I didn't have.
Yeah.
His looks. I could never break the mustard. I mean, I don't consider myself a terrible looking guy, but I must say that I know how to stay in my lane.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I know how to not be in too many pictures or too many interviews, you know, with certain individuals. And I love them to my heart. And Andre and the family, I'm going to say that to the end, man, because I rock with him with that.
Thank you, Bernard. I appreciate the time. Thank you.
Bernard, what you saying Canelo might fight Conor McGregor?
What?
Have you ever any Conor McGregor talk?
Shit, I'm coming out of retirement. I want McGregor to, if it's like that. No, that's not true. No.
And them reports haven't been talking about
that's just fun stuff people throwing out there.
Yeah.
I didn't hear it. I'm looking right in your face. You know, I didn't hear it. You know I like to have fun with a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
I didn't hear that. I'm not saying it's true or not.
Yeah.
I can guarantee it ain't true from go to more.
Would you think Canelo knocked Conor out like Floyd or earlier?
No, I don't even want to entertain the conversation. Because it's a show. So I can't come and tell you anytime in the future something different. There's a show and there's a fight. We've seen a fight Saturday on HBO pay-per-view. You've seen a show 2 weeks before that. There's a difference between a show. I don't want boxing to become a wrestling buffoonery. That's when you mix oil and water together, you got diluted oil, right? You mix gas and water and sell it to people. That's cheating. That's cutting it. That's not cut boxing. You like that spin?
Appreciate you, Bernard. Thank you.